Welcome to the final video on linear inequalities. I wanted to save this last one for this particular word problem. It's kind of tough, especially if you're not familiar with linear inequalities or word problems. So let's break it down. So Amelia wants to put two types of fertilizer in her yard. The turf builder costs $24 per acre, and the weed and feed costs $12 per acre. If Amelia wants to spend $240 or less, what is the possible acreage she can fertilize using the two types of fertilizer? This problem essentially is asking how much turf builder can she buy, how much weed and feed can she buy, and what is the possible combinations of the two that she can do. For example, she could get $204 is the turf builder, and if she got 10 acres, if she fertilized 10 acres, that would be all $240, right? Okay, that would leave 0 acres. This is the turf builder. The weed and feed, that'd leave 0 acres for the weed and feed because she has no money left over. Okay, she has to spend $240 or less. Okay, and that's where the less than symbol comes into play. So we have to spend less than $240 because that's our budget. Okay, look at the flip side. What if for the weed and feed, Amelia decides to spend, let's see, so it's $12. We can get twice as much acreage. So we can get 20 times $12, and that will take us to the 240, leaving us 0 acres for the turf builder. So that's another combination we could do. We could do 20 acres of weed and feed, but then we would have no turf builder. So what is the proper combination? Maybe you want a half and half. Maybe you want to mix and match, a little bit more turf builder. So being able to graph the range of possibilities would definitely be helpful for you, especially if you're someone that is like a landscaping crew and you need to know how to properly take care of your clients' lawns. Okay? So that's where this problem comes from. So we're going to break it down using what we know of linear inequalities to help us with this problem. Okay. So the first thing we probably should do is we want to define our variables. Okay. Let's use green since we're talking about grass. So let's make x. Let's make this the turf builder. So x is going to be equal to our turf builder. Now, what in terms of turf builder? This is the amount of acreage that we use turf builder on. Okay, it's not the price, it's the amount of acreage we used for turf build. So how much lawn did we use the turf builder on? That is our x-axis. That obviously makes our y-axis our weed and feed. So this is our weed and feed acreage. How much of the lawn did we use the weed and feed on? Okay, so those are our variables. Let me go ahead and show them to the side again. So y equals weed and feed, and x equals turf builder. This is always going to be the first thing that you want to do with word problems, is to find your variables so you can actually figure out what you're looking for and what the question is asking. Okay. So now, if that's the acreage, oh sorry, I need to write acreage here. That's important. Okay, if this is the acreage, we need to figure out how much money it costs per acreage, because that $240 is not 240 acres. That would be insane. Okay, so we need to keep it under $240. So how much does it cost per acre? Well, we do $24. That's my weed and feed, sorry. 24 is dark green. So $24 times the number of acres I do turf builder. So turf builder is $24 per acre I use on it. And that would tell me how much money I use on turf builder. I need to add that to my weed and feed. It only costs me $12 per every acre I use weed and feed on. And this needs to be less than $240. Okay. Now we have kind of an interesting problem here, but not too complicated. We're just going to solve, just like we did before, for y. Get it into slope-intercept form, and we're going to go from there. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is minus 24x from both sides, 24x. Okay, so then we have 12y is less than 240 minus 24x. Okay, now we need to divide both sides by 12. And keep in mind, when we divide by 12, we need to divide it by both terms. So we have y is less than 240 divided by 12. That's going to give me 20 minus 2x. Okay, so I have my equation. Now I need to graph it. Let's count. Let's see, can I go by 2s? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Nope. I need to go by 5. So let's call this 5, 10, 15, and then let's call that 20. Let's call this 5, 10, 15, and let's call this 20. Keep it consistent. All right. So now, I need to graph my y-intercept first. I already started with purple, so I might as well keep going. And my slope is -2, so I need to go down 2 over 1. Okay, so I need my slope equals -2 over 1. Okay, that's my rise over my run. Okay, I have units of 5 and 10. Pardon me. I have units of 5 and 10, so what I need to do is I'm just going to do this. I'm going to say -20 over 10. This will make it a little bit easier for me to graph, okay? So now I'm going to go down 20. I'm going to go over 10, and I have a point. The reason why I'm doing this and not going 2 is because I didn't draw the tick marks to be exact here, so I don't know exactly where 2 over 1 is, but if I go down 20 and over 10, I know that's the same ratio as -2 over 1, so I can do that. So just to show that again, I went down 20, and I went to the right 10. Okay, that's all I did there, just to clear things up. Now, do I use a dotted line or a solid line? Well, first off, this is a good opportunity for us to review our problem. Can we use $240, or can we have to use less than that? We can use all $240. It doesn't say we have to spend less than that. So we're going to put a less than or equal to sign, which I forgot. But we all make mistakes, right? So I put less than or equal to 240. So I know it's going to be a solid line. So I'm going to draw it like this. Now, in terms of this problem, we're going to adjust it a little bit because we know we can't have negative acreage. How do you have a negative acreage? So we know we can't go past the positive values for the x's or the y's. So I'm going to erase this. I'm going to erase this for now. Most problems you will continue infinitely in both directions, but because we can't go negative acreage, that doesn't make any sense, okay? So we have our graph drawn. Now we just need to shade. Remember, when it's y is less than or equal to, we are going to shade below the line. Okay, so below this line, if we have a point here, below would be down here. If we have a point here, below would be down here. So we know we're going to be shading below the line. Okay, for those that struggle to see where below is, I just kind of demonstrated that. A little too thick. Let me change it. Let's go this one. That's perfect. Okay, so I shade below. And this tells me all my possible values for x and y. Okay, so then with my budget, I can get all these different mixtures. I can have acreage of these amounts for weed and feed. I can have these amount of acreage for my turf builder. For example, look at this intersection here. I could have 10 acres of turf builder, and I could have 5 of weed and feed, or I could have 5 of turf builder, and I could have 10 of weed and feed. So this would give me an idea to make an educated decision on how I should treat this lawn, and doing that within my budget. So this would be a good business tool, just so you guys can see the application. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time when we talk about systems of linear equations. Have a great day.